Welcome, Curious Minds. Today we're doing a deep dive into something that feels, well, like it's jumped right out of tomorrow and landed in our laps. We're talking about the rise of AI agents, your future digital coworkers. And look, we're not just talking about smarter tools here. We mean autonomous, intelligent teammates. So our mission today, cut through the hype, grab the really vital insights from sources like Beyond Busy Work Tech and Trends, and give you a clear view of what's coming. What exactly are these agents? How might they actually change your workday? And crucially, what big questions do we need to start grappling with, like right now?
Exactly. And this deep dive, it really pushes us beyond just thinking of AI as, a function, a tool you use. It's about understanding AI as an active collaborator, truly integrated into how we work. We're going to help you distill the core ideas, the surprising bits too, giving you that shortcut to being genuinely clued in on this huge shift.
All right. Let's unpack this then. When we say AI agent, I think a lot of people's minds jump straight to maybe a really advanced chatbot.
Yeah.
But the sources we looked at, they paint a picture of something, well, much deeper. What really makes an AI agent different? Why should we be paying such close attention to this evolution?
What truly stands out, I think, is their autonomy, their inherent autonomy. See, unlike the software we're used to, which just follows predefined rules, these agents, they're built differently. They have these internal planning modules, self-correction loops. You give them a high-level goal.
Okay.
And they don't just execute command A, then B, then C. They can actually break that goal down into steps, figure out the best strategy, and even, adapt if something goes wrong along the way.
Yeah.
This ability to kind of reason and decide, within their scope, of course, how best to get something done, that's a massive leap. It's proactive, not just reactive.
So it's not just clever pattern matching. It's like a layer of independent strategy. That feels like a really significant distinction. Does the source material clarify sort of how much real thinking is happening there? Is it genuine independent reasoning, or is it still, super sophisticated prediction within set limits? Where's that line?
That's a really crucial question, and yeah, the sources touch on it. The key difference seems to lie in their goal-oriented architecture. Now, they're still operating based on their programming, their training data, absolutely, but the thinking part, that shows up in how they dynamically build and execute these complex plans. It's less about, consciousness or self-awareness, and much more about a really advanced, adaptive problem-solving engine. So, for example, if a task hits a snag, they can often analyze why it failed and try a different route entirely on their own without needing a human to step in.
Oh, okay.
That kind of persistent, adaptive execution, that's what really elevates them. It pushes them beyond just being a tool towards something that feels more like a digital colleague.
That makes a lot of sense. It's that adaptive part that really blurs the lines. Okay, so can you give us some concrete examples, things that are already out there, showing this shift from AI as just a tool to, well, a collaborator?
Absolutely. We're already seeing some pretty tangible examples emerge. Think about Cognition Labs' Devin.
Right, I've heard about that one.
Yeah, it's not just an AI that helps a software engineer. The pitch is that it is an AI software engineer. It can apparently build entire applications autonomously, debug its own code, even learn from feedback on pretty complex projects. That's a big step.
Yeah.
And then you've got things like ChatGPT Enterprise. It goes way beyond the public chatbot we all know. It offers these highly advanced AI assistants specifically designed for complex business workflows, handling tasks that might span multiple steps, multiple applications.
So integrating across different systems.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating isn't just what they can do individually, it's how they signal AI moving from being like a point solution for one problem to being an integral part of a team, capable of taking on whole projects, contributing to the creative and problem-solving process. They're becoming active participants, not just utilities.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. Let's try and bring this to life. Our source material paints this really vivid picture, right?
Yeah.
A typical workday, maybe in 2030, where these AI coworkers are just normal, part of the furniture. So picture logging on in the morning. Your whole day looks fundamentally different from the get-go. First off, imagine your email agent. And this isn't just like better spam filtering. Instead of facing that wall of 200 unread messages, that feeling, that immediate dread.
Oh, yeah.
Your AI coworker has already been through it. Filtered, organized, maybe even drafted, concise, context-aware replies for a lot of them. So what lands in front of you? Maybe just the 5 emails that genuinely need your specific human input. The ones requiring empathy or a tricky strategic call or your unique insight.
And what's really powerful there, as the source points out, isn't just the time saved, which is huge, obviously. It's the reduction in cognitive load. Imagine starting your day without that immediate mental tax.
That's a great point.
It frees up so much bandwidth for actual strategic thinking right from the start. But it also subtly changes our role, doesn't it? We become less of an inbox process.
And more of a strategic editor, overseeing the AI.
Exactly, making sure its priorities align with ours as things shift.
That mental freedom.
Yeah,
that alone sounds transformative. Okay, next example. Your research agent. Let's say you've got a massive client pitch coming up. You need to be incredibly well briefed across loads of different data. Normally that's hours, maybe days, right? Digging through reports, trying to connect the dots, pulling info from all over the place.
And this is where the sheer speed of an AI agent just completely changes the game of preparation. Our source highlights how it can scan literally thousands of data points, internal company data, external market reports, news feeds in seconds.
Wow.
But critically, it's not just about speed. It's the agent's ability to then synthesize all that and present you with a clear, maybe even visual summary, highlighting actionable insights that, honestly, a human might easily miss swimming in all that raw data.
Right.
So the implication, you're not just informed, you're strategically prepared. You can anticipate questions, pivot your pitch, respond in ways that are just really hard to achieve when you're doing all the legwork manually. It elevates your output.
Absolutely. Okay, and then later in the day, picture this. Your negotiator agent steps in, helping you prep for a really crucial deal. And again, it's not just pulling up sales figures, it's actively preparing different contract strategies, running simulations on pricing outcomes based on various scenarios.
Predicting potential counteroffers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Checking for hidden risks in the small print that you might otherwise gloss over. And even suggesting specific talking points or counterarguments before you even hop on that video call.
The huge implication here, and the source really emphasizes this, is that the human negotiator is suddenly armed with this incredible arsenal of information and strategic foresight. It's not about replacing the human element in negotiation, the rapport, the intuition.
No, it's augmenting it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Augmenting it with just an unparalleled level of data-driven insight. It lets you anticipate objections, understand your leverage points better, and walk into that discussion with a massive strategic advantage. By offloading all that preparatory number crunching and scenario planning, you, the human, can focus entirely on the subtleties of the interaction, the persuasion, adapting on the fly. The human stuff.
So if we step back and look at the whole day described there, the big picture is that the human team is profoundly freed up. Instead of being constantly swamped by, email triage, data gathering, preliminary research, all that stuff that drains you.
Yeah, the busy work.
Right. They can actually dedicate their core energy, their cognitive resources to the high-level stuff. Creativity, leadership, building relationships, making those really critical decisions.
That is precisely the vision, yes. The repetitive, data-intensive tasks, the ones that honestly contribute a lot to burnout and eat up so much of our time, they get handled efficiently, accurately by these AI coworkers. And while it might still sound a bit like science fiction, a lot of the foundational tech for this, it's actually being built and tested right now in 2025. So this really isn't about replacing human potential. It's about using AI to dramatically amplify it, letting us focus on what makes our work uniquely human.
Which brings us right to the core question, doesn't it? What does all this actually mean for us, for our workplaces? The benefits outlined in the sources are, well, they're pretty compelling. They paint a picture of some really significant shifts in how businesses run and how we experience our jobs. For the businesses themselves, obviously, there's this huge potential upside in efficiency at scale. You have AI agents capable of handling workloads that would normally take human teams weeks, maybe even months.
Yeah, the scale is incredible.
It's not just doing things faster, it's doing more things, more consistently, right across the organization. And naturally, that feeds directly into potentially significant cost savings. Automating many of those repetitive operational tasks that currently soak up a lot of human hours and overhead, it changes the bottom line calculation.
Absolutely. And if we pivot to the impact on the actual human employees, the big win seems to be enhanced focus. Just imagine a workday where you're not constantly pulled in a dozen directions by notifications or spending half your time navigating administrative hurdles.
That sounds pretty good.
Right. People can genuinely shift their mental energy towards the bigger picture, strategic thinking, creative problem solving, finding those innovative breakthroughs, instead of getting bogged down in routine tasks that let's be honest, can be pretty mind-numbing.
Yeah.
And then there's the very practical advantage of 2047 availability. These agents, they don't need sleep or coffee breaks or sick leave. They offer constant, uninterrupted productivity potential, which fundamentally reshapes how companies can think about resource allocation, project deadlines, output.
It lets the humans focus on the highest value stuff.
Exactly. Elevating the human role.
But, and there's always a but, isn't there? This fascinating future isn't arriving without some pretty serious challenges.
Yeah.
And our sources, thankfully, don't gloss over these. There's some fundamental questions we really need to tackle thoughtfully as this tech rolls out. Okay, first up, accuracy and reliability. We know AI can still, well, hallucinate, right? Make stuff up, basically. Do the sources dig into why that happens and what the real-world impact could actually be?
They do, yeah. And a key insight is that these hallucinations often come from the very nature of how these large language models work. They're probabilistic. They predict the next most likely word. Or sometimes it's because the training data itself wasn't quite grounded enough in real-world facts or constraints.
Right.
And the risk isn't just, a slightly weird sentence. Think about a single AI hallucination embedded deep in a critical financial report.
Oh, right. That could be disastrous.
Exactly. It could erode client trust over the long term or lead to really poor strategic decisions based on faulty data. This demands totally new ways of auditing and validating AI output. It requires, frankly, heightened human vigilance.
That makes perfect sense. The ripple effects could be huge.
Yeah.
Okay, another big one. This comes up all the time. Job security. If these AI agents really can take over so many repetitive tasks, what happens to the people who are doing those jobs right now?
Yeah, that's a massive concern, and the source material tackles it by stressing that the future likely isn't about mass job elimination, but job transformation.
Transformation. Okay, how so?
Well, it highlights this crucial need for a shift towards reskilling and reprioritizing what humans do best. Sure, many routine roles might be heavily augmented, some might even be fully automated over time, but crucially, new roles will emerge. Roles focused on overseeing the AI, collaborating with the AI, designing these systems, and leaning into those uniquely human skills. Creativity, empathy, complex ethical judgment, deep problem solving.
So training becomes key.
Absolutely critical. The challenge is ensuring we have proactive workforce development programs in place so people can make that transition into these new, arguably higher value positions.
That's a really important distinction. It's about evolving roles, not necessarily just removing them. Okay, one more challenge area. Just the sheer complexity of integration and oversight.
Yeah.
It's not like you just buy an AI agent off the shelf and plug it in, is it?
Oh, definitely not. Integrating these highly autonomous agents into existing, often complex organizational structures, that's a whole other ballgame. You're talking about managing dependencies between AI and human tasks, ensuring they can actually talk to legacy IT systems, setting up robust governance frameworks.
Like who's responsible if an AI makes a mistake?
Exactly. Who is accountable when an AI decision leads to a negative outcome, especially if the decision-making process inside the AI is like a black box? How do you even trace it back, and how do you maintain a smooth, efficient workflow when you've got multiple different AI agents potentially collaborating with different human teams, maybe across departments?
Right, it gets complicated fast.
It does. These aren't trivial technical or logistical hurdles. They require significant investment in new ways of working, new operational models, and probably upgrades to IT infrastructure, too.
So looking ahead then, the source material seems pretty confident that this trend is accelerating fast. It suggests that by, say, 2030, seeing AI coworkers will likely be pretty commonplace across most industries, like really pervasive.
Yeah, the prediction is broad integration, touching almost every sector.
But crucially, this doesn't mean the humans just disappear from the office.
No, quite the opposite, actually. Stepping back, the nature of work itself will fundamentally evolve. The day-to-day focus will shift away from the repetitive grind and towards the strategic, the conceptual, the human-centric. The real challenge, and honestly the biggest opportunity, will be figuring out how we learn to collaborate effectively with these new digital teammates.
So it's a partnership model.
Exactly, and that requires more than just, understanding the tech specs. It demands a real shift in mindset, a willingness to adapt how we structure our work, how we manage teams, and a serious commitment to continuous skill development. That's how we actually harness this potential and unlock new levels of what humans can achieve.
So the rise of these AI agents, it really feels like one of the most transformative shifts in how we even think about work. It promises this future where we, as humans, can genuinely focus on what truly matters, our creativity, our leadership, our ability to innovate. It's potentially a journey away from just managing endless emails towards strategically shaping major deals, all while freeing up our unique human skills, letting us engage with our work in maybe a more fulfilling, more impactful way. So here's a question for you, our listeners, to maybe mull over as you go about your day. Thinking about your own job right now, what specific skill do you think will become the absolute most valuable as AI agents become your regular coworkers?
Yeah, and maybe taking that one step further. Think about this. If these digital collaborators could genuinely free up a significant chunk of your time, what entirely new, valuable contribution could you then make? Something you just don't have the bandwidth for today. Thinking about that, it helps us not just passively understand the future, but actually start to actively shape it in a way that empowers us.
Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and definitely stay curious as we all navigate this evolving landscape together. This has been a deep dive into the fascinating and very rapidly approaching future of AI in the workplace.